Evening, this is Capital News at 9:30. My name is Asma Mwambe. Let's get started with the national news. The President of the United Republic of Tanzania, Samia Suluhu Hassan, has been elected by Chama cha Mapinduzi CCM's Special General Assembly as the sixth chair of the party after getting 1,862 votes equivalent to 100% of votes cast by members, whereby she will lead the party until 2022 when another election will be held. President Samia Suluhu Hassan has been voted as the chair of CCM following the death of the former president, Dr. John Magufuli, on March 17th this year.
Idadi ya wajumbe wote kwenye ukumbi huu walikuwa 1876. Idadi ya kura zilizopigwa 1862.
The number of all members in this hall was 1,876. The number of votes voted are 1,862. No vote was damaged and no vote. Yes votes are 1,862, equivalent to 100%.
Itasimamia maadili, kanuni na taratibu za chama ili kujenga chama chenye nidhamu na chenye wanachama wanaotambua wajibu wao kwa chama na kwa taifa lao.
We will oversee values, regulations of associations to build association with discipline and member conscious of their responsibility. We will ensure we continue the strong justice system in our election processes to get representatives in various leadership positions. We will continue to produce politics and promote productive development in our country for building united nations. We will increase the diversity in providing and keeping our memories.
Fungu la 9 la kanuni ya uchaguzi wa Chama cha Mapinduzi naeleza, fungu inasema kwamba uchaguzi wa kujaza nafasi zilizoachwa wazi, nafasi ya uongozi itakuwa imeachwa wazi endapo imetokea mojawapo kati ya matukio yafuatayo kiongozi aliyekuwa ameshika nafasi hiyo.
Meanwhile, at the meeting, former Minister of Natural Resources and Tourism and Member of Parliament of Singida constituency, Lazaro Nyarandu, announced his return to Chama cha Mapinduzi after leaving the opposition party Chadema.
Kupitia mkutano huu maalum wa sisi, naomba kukushukuru sana kwa kukubali kunipokea, kwa kukubali kunisamehe.
Through this special CCM meeting, I would like to thank you very much for accepting and forgiving me, for allowing me, Lazaro Samuel Nyarandu, to return home. There is no happiness like the happiness of a child returning home.
Na huko nyumbani haulizwi tena kule ugenini, nyumbani unarudi lini.
The National Executive Committee of Chama cha Mapinduzi CCM has approved recommendations from the chair of the party and the President of the United Republic of Tanzania, Samia Suluhu Hassan, to fill new posts of the General Secretariat, whereby the District Commissioner of Kinondoni, Daniel Chongolo, was announced as the new Secretary General of the party.
Na kujaza nafasi na kupanga safu ya uongozi ngazi utendaji katika kazi hiyo ya kitaifa.
The primary task is to oversee the Secretariat, fill the vacancy, and organize the leadership level at the national level. On behalf of party leaders, CCM Chairman Samia Suluhu Hassan, the President of the United Republic of Tanzania, and the National Executive Council, to announce the full list of Revolutionary Party. These are national leaders and executives. The General Secretary of the CCM party is Daniel Chongolo, who is the District Commissioner of Kinondoni. We wish him all the best. 7 nationals from Iran have appeared in the Magistrate Court in LINDI region to face charges of trafficking 504.36 kilograms of heroin and 355 kilograms of methamphetamine. The accused include Jan Miran, Isa Baluchi, Ahmed Hussein, Salum Balushi, Ibar Mohammed, Mustafa Balushi, and Jawed Mohammed, whereby the court was told that on April 23rd this year, they were arrested along the shores of LINDI. The accused were denied to respond to the charges as the court does not have the mandate to hear the case. The started the process to review amendments made by the primary and secondary school syllabus in order to include the subject of life skills so as to enable youth to complete those levels of education become self-employed. This was said in Parliament by the Minister of Education, Science and Technology, Omar Kipanga, during the question and answer session, responding to a question from a special seat MP Nusrat Hanje, who wanted to know when will the government amend education systems in order to empower youth and reduce the problem of unemployment. The government has been improving the curriculum whenever there is a need for scientific, economic, political, cultural and technological needs. Deputy Speaker, in the financial year of 2020-2022, the government will review the curriculum of primary and secondary schools to incorporate various life skills, including 21st century and volatile approaches, as well as creativity, leadership, information and communication skills. The issue of teacher and desk shortage in primary and secondary schools was also raised by the Member of the Parliament, Emmanuel Mokisaka. The government has continued to employ primary and secondary school teachers in the financial year 2016-2017 and 2020-2021. Almost 33,684 teachers and standard laboratory technicians have been employed. Meanwhile, TAMISEMI, together with the President's Office for Public Service Management and Good Governance, the Minister of Education will employ 6,000 teachers by the 3rd of July 2021. A resident from Malaysia Street, Handeni District, Tanga region, identified as Munahao Mohammed, has been trampled to death by an elephant. This is the second such incident to occur within a week. Residents in the area have said that they are unable to conduct farming activities due to the threat of wandering elephants. The incident is very shocking and it happens for a second time. People are afraid to even walk around. The government should look at this problem. People are failing to go to the farms. One week ago, an elephant killed one person. Now we don't know if the elephant is the same. Responsibility to help the lives of human beings. The ongoing rains in Dar es Salaam have caused massive destruction on Chapter Road in Mikocheni area, making it impassable to motorists and causing rainwater to flood into Lady Street in the Regent Estate. Why can't the government deal with the contractor? This is a huge negligence considering it's even near the government offices. How will people walk into the office to solve their problems? The situation is bad. We are missing out customers. We are asking the government to help us solve this issue. The head of the National Service has announced that youth who were to do national service training during the 2020-2021 period and were sent home in February this year are reported to camps they were previously selected to join.
Jana wanaotakiwa ripoti makambi ya jeshi la kujenga taifa waliokuwa wamepangiwa hapo awali.
The youth who are required to report in the pre-designated National Army camps are those with Standard 7 and Form 4 education, 7 to 14th May 2021, and those from Form 6 education, certificates, diploma, degree, and engineers will continue to wait until the order is announced.
Wataendelea kusubiri majumbani hadi hapo utaratibu mwingine utakapotangazwa.
And that is the end of the national news. International news comes next after the break. And in international news, a Stampede, a religious festival attended by tens of thousands of ultra-Orthodox Jews in northern Israel, has killed at least 44 people and injured about 150 early Friday. More on the story. The Israel Emergency Service said that among the 150 people who had been hospitalized, 6 were in critical condition. The Stampede occurred tens of thousands of mainly ultra-Orthodox Jews were participating in an annual pilgrimage for the feast of Lag BaOmer in Mount Meron around the reputed tomb of Rabbi Shimon Rai Rochai, a second-century Talmudic sage. The incident began where the large number of people trying to exit the site thronged a narrow tunnel-like passage and began falling on top of each other near the end of the walkway as they descended slippery metal stairs. Kenya has told the United Nations it will shut by June 2022 two camps holding over 430,000 refugees who fled from wars in the eastern horn of Africa, and that it plans to repatriate some and give others a residency. President Uhuru Kenyatta and the UN Refugee Agency Chief Filippo Grandi have met in Nairobi to discuss on closure of Dadaab and Kakuma refugee camps. In the Democratic Republic of Congo, the government has entered into agreement with China to establish motor vehicle assembling plants in Kinshasa.
We're the government of warriors. Our president needed hard-working people on board. Today, we are the Chinese factory, which is going to deal with connecting of vehicle body parts. We want the cars to have Congolese names. Following the factory, more jobs will be created.
Dans les 6 à 12 mois, les premiers véhicules peuvent être déjà produits en République démocratique.
And that is the end of international news. Business comes next after the break.
Watch Business Edition as we talk to business leaders and experts in sectors that are transforming Tanzania's economy.
We believe that the driver is the customer.
Change the mindset of traditional digitalization.
Make sure that everybody can get some access to financial services.
And once we understand the vision of our leaders, we then need to be behind them and help them in achieving the vision.
Business involved mercantile operations, trade guilds, shared agricultural production, infrastructure, construction, financial sectors, tourism, and mining. Business Edition on Friday at 8:15 p.m.
Some tourism companies have been said to be the cause of failing to attain the aim of increasing the number of tourists who visit the country by cheating tourists with false information on services.
Changamoto kubwa pia ya wadau wa utalii.
Trust is still a challenge to some tourism stakeholders. Once a tourist has booked to come to Tanzania, sometimes tourists are left at the airport while others end up picked up late. There's a very crucial stage that many tourists fear of. Research has to be done in order to improve our services and creativity.
Ni kweli kwamba kumekuwa na hiyo changamoto ya wageni kutapeliwa.
It's true that there is a challenge of tourists being conned, and that is done by few traders who are untrustworthy, ending up in tarnishing the image of our country. This mostly happens when tourists look for cheaper services that are offered by small companies which are not recognized.
Kwa kiasi kikubwa, sekta hii katika nchi yetu inatawaliwa na wenzetu kutoka nje.
In larger extents, this sector is dominated by people outside this country who have big companies and capacities of handling this kind of business. Most of Tanzanian companies are still operating in minimal capacities. Apart from a few who are operating through partnerships, they are at least performing better. We want our local companies to reach the level of international companies, but we cannot achieve that if there are no proper strategies.
The Minister of State, Prime Minister's Office, Policy, Parliament, Labour, Youth, Employment and People with Disabilities, Minister Mhagama, has warned those who start financial institutions institutions against issuing loans with high interest rates.
Tuendelee tu kutoa onyo kwa Watanzania ambao wamekuwa wakitumia matatizo ya wafanyakazi kama njia ya kujinufaisha.
Let us continue warning Tanzanians who are taking advantage of employees' challenges. Recently, there has been mushrooming of microfinances who provide loans with huge interest rates to employees and pensioners. Such acts are intolerable in Tanzania. I congratulate PCCB for returning money that was stolen by those microfinances to poor employees and pensioners.
Tanzania Revenue Authority in Kilimanjaro region has continued to provide taxpayer education to Form 5 and 6 students taking business subjects so as to inculcate them with better understanding on the importance of paying taxes for the development of a nation.
We thought it is important to start with students at this level of education before they reach universities so that they could build a custom of paying tax before they become taxpayers. Sometimes even our parents do not have education on the importance of paying tax, but now that I have gotten education about it, I have confidence in pursuing my parents to pay their taxes.
That is the end of business news. Sports news is next.
He did lose and
Welcome back, and now in sports. Simba Sports Club will face Kaizer Chiefs of South Africa in the CAF Champions League quarter-finals, and here is more.
Finishing top of Group A, with Kaizer Chiefs finishing second in Group C. The first leg of this quarter-final will be played in 14th or 15th of May in South Africa, before the second leg at the Benjamin Mkapa Stadium in Dar es Salaam the following week. If Simba manage to eliminate Chiefs, they will face the winners of quarters between MC Alger and Wydad Casablanca.
Young Africans have entered the quarterfinals of the TFF Cup following a 1-0 win against Tanzania Prisons at the Nelson Mandela Stadium in Sumbawanga. The only goal of the game in the 15 minutes from Yukuba Sone. Tottenham have suffered further setback in their search for a manager after Ajax announced they have extended Eric Ten's contract to 2023. Here's more.
The Dutchman was high on Spurs' shortlist of candidates to replace Jose Mourinho, but has joined Julian Nagelsmann and Brendan Rodgers in moving out of the club's reach. Nagelsmann has agreed to leave RB Leipzig to take over at Bayern Munich, and Rodgers is not interested in moving from Leicester to Tottenham. Spurs plan to speak to Ten Hag next week, but Ajax have moved to head that off. Ten Hag was pictured on Ajax's website holding champagne with the key executives Edwin van der Sar and Mark Overmars. The new agreement will take effect on July 1st, 2021 and will run until June 30th, 2023, the club said. Brighton's Graham Potter and Fulham's Scott Parker are among other managers under consideration by Tottenham, who have Ryan Mason in charge for the rest of the season.
Gunas Solskjaer puts a quartet of recent semi-final stumbles behind him as Manchester United Roger Roma to all but put a place in next month's Europa League final. Here's more.
The job is done, but this was a good job done, said Solskjaer after a sometimes surreal first leg at Old Trafford, where United trailed 2-1 at the interval but ended up winning 6-2 after an apparently stern half-time homily from their manager. It would take an unprecedented collapse in the Italian capital next week for United to forfeit their lead. They won courtesy of 2 goals apiece from Bruno Fernandes and Pires Edison Cavani, before Paul Pogba and Mason Greenwood concluded the scoring. If Solskjaer does collect his first piece of silverware as United manager next month, his stellar management of Cavani and Pogba will have been major contributory factors.
Lewis Hamilton will add his backing to the social media boycott taking place this weekend across the English sport aimed at putting pressure on online platforms to tackle racism, abuse and discrimination. Here's more.
The Formula One world champion, who has an enormous global audience on Instagram with 22 million followers and a further 6.3 million on Twitter, revealed he had been subjected to online abuse and was proud so many sporting organizations led by English football and including cricket, rugby and tennis clubs, players and bodies were backing the initiative, although Formula One has yet to do so. Speaking before this weekend's Portuguese Grand Prix in Portimao, Hamilton said personal experience gave the initiative particular resonance. Hamilton was an outspoken supporter of the Black Lives Matter movement last season after the death of George Floyd and became a strident activist promoting anti-racism in Formula One.
And that sports item ends our news bulletin for tonight. My name is Nasra Mwambe. Thank you for watching and good night.